really sure because he dropped me off at home alone and went back to work. I hate to say it, but my biggest concern at the time had been that I had no idea how long it would take to walk to school. It didn't seem far, but having always been a passenger in the car, I couldn't gauge the distance on foot. What I did know was that I couldn't be late. So, the next day, I woke up at 4 a.m., ate rice and eggs with scallion, made an American sandwich with bread, ham, and mayo, stuffed chips into my backpack, and left the house. I sauntered past 3 blocks of apartments before reaching the busy Chapman Avenue, where I patiently waited for the white walk signal even though there weren't any cars around. After the light, I continued past CVS Pharmacy, 3 small shopping plazas I hadn't even noticed before, and McDonald's. When I checked my watch, it was already 4:15 a.m. I picked up my pace but still felt like I was walking too slow. Valentino's Pizza, aka the $7 pizza place, was so far away that I couldn't see its signpost. My shins began to ache, and panic set in. Where was the park? Had I made a wrong turn? I hadn't made any turns, so that wasn't possible. Still, I doubted myself. The park that I thought was just around the corner was in fact 7 stoplights away. Images of Safeway, Del Taco, and the hot dog stand I'd wanted to try since it opened 6 years ago flashed through my mind. Immediately, I started sprinting towards school. My heart was pounding. My legs felt weak. I couldn't get enough air. And just before I thought I would pass out, a horn blared behind me. Bleary-eyed, I looked over at the car and jumped away from the curb. It took me a moment to realize it was my dad. I don't know when he woke up or how he knew where to find me, but there he was. "What are you doing?" I stared at him, dumbfounded. "I think I'm going to be late." "Do you know what time it is?" I shook my head. "Get in the car." I opened the door and climbed in. "It's only 4:25 in the morning. Why did you leave so early for?" "Because I didn't know how long it would take, and I didn't want to be late." "How long you think it takes to walk to school?" I didn't have a good answer. It didn't dawn on me then, but when I look back at that morning, and I look back pretty often, I'm fairly certain that my dad must have followed me from the moment I left the house. He must have lain awake while I got ready and waited for me to leave before tailing my every turn. Maybe he panicked when he saw me running. Maybe he thought I was running away. Maybe he thought I was leaving the same way my mother had. But I wasn't. The thought hadn't even occurred to me. And actually, I find it insulting. I am not like my mother. I would never leave Paul alone with my dad. She is a coward. A heartless, non-motherly bitch who I swore would no longer occupy my thoughts. I wasn't going to be like those weak-ass kids whose parents ruined them, who had to go to therapy because mommy left. People leave, life is shit, and some of us don't have time to sit on a couch and talk about our feelings. Anyway, instead of driving me to school, my dad pulled into Callahan's, a diner I hadn't even known existed until we parked and walked inside. We never ate American food. Maybe McDonald's on the rare occasion my mom wasn't able to cook, but never any food as fancy as Callahan's. The booths were soft faux leather, and there were packets of jam, salt, and pepper, 3 different kinds of syrup, saltine crackers, and sugar on every table. And there weren't just a few booths either, but rows and rows of them. Once seated, I scanned the enormous menu. There were eggs and pancakes and waffles and burritos and ice cream sundaes. "What do you want to eat?" my dad asked. "I don't know. What are you having?" Honestly, I was more concerned with the prices. Everything looked good, but also really expensive. "I think I'll have the steak and eggs," my dad said, pointing to the picture. In my memory, his English is impeccable. I found the steak and eggs on the menu and checked the price, $12.99.